Good evening, good evening, good evening, good night, YouTube. How are you guys? So, I am here with a message as per usual. Um, it is what it is. Um, so the chapter, sorry about that. So, the verse I am reading tonight is Proverbs 28. Proverbs 28. So, it says, the wicked flee when no man pursueth, but the righteous are bold as a lion. For the transgression of a land, many are the princes thereof. But by a man of understanding and knowledge, the state thereof shall be prolonged. A poor man that oppresseth the poor is like a sweeping rain that leaveth no food. They that forsake the law praise the wicked, but such as keep the law contend with them. Evil men understand not judgment. I gotta highlight that. And I gotta sear it into my brain, because it's one of these things that when you go through this situation, you're gonna have to constantly remind yourself to not be shocked by anything. It is a constant, you're going to be constantly shocked by the things that you see constantly, and nothing is going to, it should not surprise you, but it's like you should know that people will do things like this, and that is not going to be the case. Evil men understand not judgment, but they that seek the Lord understand all things. Better is the poor that walketh in his uprightness than he that is perverse in his ways, though he be rich. Whoso keepeth the law is a wise son, but he that is a companion of riotous men shameth his father. He that by usury and unjust gain increaseth his substance, he shall gather it for him that will pity the poor. He that turneth away his ear from hearing the law, even his prayers shall be abomination. Whoso causeth the righteous to go astray in an evil way, he shall fall himself into his own pit, but the upright shall have good things in possession. Whoso causeth the righteous to go astray in an evil way. The rich man is wise in his own conceit, but the poor that hath understanding searcheth him out. Sorry, give me a second. 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 Yeah. Where was I? When righteous men do rejoice, there is great glory, but when the wicked rise, a man is hidden. He that covereth his sons shall not prosper, but whoso confesseth and forsaketh them shall have mercy. Happy is the man that feareth always, but he that hardeneth his heart shall fall into mischief. As a roaring lion and a raging bear, so is a wicked ruler over the poor people. The prince that wanteth understanding is also a great oppressor, but he that hateth covetousness shall prolong his days. A man that doeth violence to the blood of any person shall flee to the pit, let no man stay him. Whoso walketh uprightly shall be saved, but he that is perverse in his ways shall fall at once. He that tilleth his land shall have plenty of bread, but he that followeth after vain persons shall have poverty enough. This one is specific. A faithful man shall abound with blessings, but he that maketh haste to be rich shall not be innocent. To have respect of persons is not good, for a piece of bread that man will transgress. For a piece of bread that man will transgress. He that hasteth to be rich hath an evil eye, and considereth not that poverty shall come upon him. He that rebuketh a man afterwards shall find more favor than he that flattereth with the tongue. Whoso robbeth his father or his mother, and saith, It is no transgression, the same is the companion of a destroyer. He that is of a proud heart stirreth up strife, but he that putteth his trust in the Lord shall be made fat. He that trusteth in his own heart is a fool, but whoso walketh wisely, he shall be delivered. He that giveth unto the poor shall not lack, but he that hideth his eyes shall have many a curse. When the wicked rise, men hide themselves, but when they perish, the righteous increase. So this is Proverbs chapter 28, and it is talking about wicked people who are very eager to be rich. So I have to start the message tonight. Where did I start? Okay. So tonight is a message. I am going to just read my notes specifically so that I keep the thoughts clear and I keep it precise. So I'm going to start off with prayer in this season. So one of the things I don't know I think we should all be familiar. Everybody going through this situation should be familiar with the changing seasons of this situation, because it doesn't stay the same. It is constantly evolving. There's always something going on, and I have been in for years, so I am accustomed to the changing battles. I know not everybody has been in for the same amount of time. It just keeps changing. The entire thing keeps changing. So in this season, this is in this season for prayer. As far as prayer goes, double up. Do it passionately. Remind your God of your promise. So yesterday I talked about God reminding us of the promise, asking us to remember the promise. Remind God of your promise. The harder things look, the more we go into prayer, like Job. So yesterday I read Job chapter 1. Reassure God that this is nothing. God first, God always. Remind the enemy through your demonstration of your loyalty and devotion that nothing they can do can make you untrue to your God. Double up in prayer, because attacks will double up. Use all your current knowledge to protect yourself. If you need more advice and guidance, trust that Mother, Father, ancestors will send it. Angels and the gods and many others are working tirelessly behind the scenes, preparing things to go in your favor. They see our hard work, they appreciate it immensely, and they are proud. We remained dedicated through trials that other people would have given up a long and would have. People have given up a long time ago. As the enemy gets even more desperate, keep your eyes open and remain vigilant. Now that you know your power, there is no need to just fight or to keep fighting. But it is important to not just go into silence within yourself, but go into lockdown mode. And what I mean by lockdown mode is I mean you need to shut everybody out. What I don't mean that you are like not taking phone calls and stuff like that or not handling your business. I mean that this is not a time to connect or reconnect with people because you are in spiritual warfare. You are in spiritual warfare. You are, let me repeat, you are in spiritual warfare. People are not physically coming and like fighting you, fist fighting you. People are battling you in the spirit, which is even worse. It would have been easier if they were just attacking you physically, because that's all you would have to worry about. So as you fight in the spirit, it is a whole new world, as we all know. Do not risk your future and all your hard work, even taking one chance. Anything that feels like a chance is not something you need to risk right now. Follow strict guidance and just go into lockdown mode if you are not already. If you are one of these people like a tarot reader or anybody like that, quiet your mind at this time of all voices. Pray and ignore any responses. You do not need responses to your prayers. This is not our God's voice. Ignore all outside noise. Question everything from your reactions. Question advice given, or at least run all advice that you're given through your intuition. Double check with your intuition on absolutely everything, even impulses that you feel, nudges that you feel to do things. A lot of emotions are being projected from exhaustion, anger, demotivation, anxiety, and everything and anything to stop you and have you break your promise or your commitment, not only to yourself but to God. Above all, pray. Prayer is your means of communicating with God, and it is the way to invoke God in your life. Remember always your Holy Mother, Santa Muerte, who loves you more than words can speak. Say her name in prayer. Bless her name and exalt her name. Remember your Holy Father in prayer. Say his name in prayer. Bless his name. And remember your guiding ancestors in prayer. Bless their names, whoever they are. So if it is just 1, 2, or 3, whoever it is to you, say their name specifically. I would not be invoking all ancestors at this time, just whoever your guiding ancestors are. Reinstall protection from all traps daily, and you're gonna know what kind of protections you need specifically, so you're gonna know what kind of protections you need to put in place for yourself. The purpose here of what we are going through, our spiritual battles, are twofold. One is for spirit. It is a cleanup operation for spirit. So spirit takes this very seriously. This is in response to issues that have persisted before you came even along. So this is outside of you in that regard. And the second purpose here is for us. It is an initiation and on-the-job training. So yes, it is a job, but it's also on-the-job training. The point is not to avoid pain, but to transcend it. This has been a big one, I think, for all of us. Because when you go through a situation as a victim, you tend to think you want to run from the pain, you want to shy away from the obstacles. The point is not to avoid pain, but to transcend the pain that is coming your way. Your training comes in waves, so it is themed. You might have different periods where different things are coming at you, and sometimes where multiple things are coming, and everything is on schedule and it is according to God's devising. There would be no point to attack you the same way that hasn't worked before or has stopped working. Therefore, new lessons continue to arise. Hopefully you understand your strengths by now, because you will need them. Hopefully you've integrated your lessons and your spiritual work. So all the spiritual work that you have been learning up to now, how to protect yourself, how to get certain things done. Hopefully you've learned how to be creative with that. You've integrated all the lessons that you have, and you're going to do the spiritual work. If you've seen how spirit works once, you've seen it 100 times. It works hook, line, and sinker. Non-reaction will not look like what you think it will look like. Non-reaction is understanding more than anything that this is a job. So we are officially past begging, griping, or waiting on release from this situation. We must serve our role, stand in place, and patiently await in whatever capacity we are called. Please get ready. This may be in getting the materials that you need, getting your mind ready, getting your strength ready, getting your focus ready, and in every other way possible. Just wait, but get ready. You do not need to launch into anything, but get ready. When I say get ready, the things that you are getting ready for are things like death spells, multiple candles working on you at a time, petitions being made against you, trying to sacrifice you, and all of this being done at once. They are going to attack you as a group, as a team, not just one at a time, as a team. Ultimately, this is not our fight. And what I mean by this is not our fight is I mean that we did not initiate this. We did not do anything to be in the middle of this. But this is something that God wants to do. This is something that God needs to get done. And this is something that was planned before us. However, it is coming our way. So, what you are coming into, your future, it is worth fighting for. It is worth you fighting to defend it, and it's also worth other people fighting you over it. This is why the fight is coming as hard as it is. So when you have anything of value, you must expect bandits. And it's not even entirely yours. You are a custodian or a manager of a gift that is in service of God. So literally and technically, people are attempting to steal from God, him and herself. This is why it's technically not your fight. You are a custodian, but it is technically not yours. It is in service of God. Through your fight, because you will be fighting, and I want to make that clear, you will be fighting. Through your fight, you will be further ascending spiritually. At this time, your enemies are excited, they are hopeful, they are optimistic, and it is palpable. There are more lessons to be learned here, more skills to acquire, and more self-mastery. As a matter of fact, this will never stop, so get used to that. You need the correct mindset, and that is a mindset of resilience. This is where you put all your skills into use. Everything that has happened thus far, that has frustrated us, that has upset us, everything that we have learned thus far, this is where it all comes in handy here. So the correct mindset is of resilience. So in a way, it's like a grand finale. Do not quit on yourself now. You are closer than you've ever been. Now is not the time to quit. Now is the time to focus. On the voice of spirit, I want to make something very clear. Spirits guide situations. They do not need a voice or a permission. What I mean by that is spirit absolutely doesn't need to beg anybody for anything, any of us. They just change the landscape, they change the scenery. A lot of times people refer to spirits or what's happening in the spirit as like, or in the world as a video game. So they talk about NPCs, and they talk about, I think that's non-playing characters. And then they also talk about characters that have control to change circumstances and change situations. This is not equal. It's not like NPCs are fighting NPCs here. There is an attack being launched on you. Spirit is the operator of the game, the creator of the game. That's why they can change the landscape as they want. This week, you can be suicidal, and next week, you're hopeful. This is how spirit changes a circumstance in any way that they choose. So you could be on the winning end today, and then tomorrow you've lost everything, and then you can be back on top the day after. This is God's world. It should be clear. This is God's world. They don't need a voice to talk to you, and they don't need permission, just like they didn't need our permission to be guided into the situation. You will just be doing what it is that you're supposed to do. Spirit doesn't have to ask you with a voice or talk to you or motivate you or coach you. This is not spirit, so leave that alone. I want to also explain non-reaction. Non-reaction means protecting your peace. It means level-headed decisions. It means preparedness, as in not being rash, not making rash decisions. It means relaxing and accepting your role. It does not mean not doing your job or allowing yourself to be beat down upon. I want to make that clear. Non-reaction means protecting your peace, level-headed decisions, preparedness, not being rash, relaxing and accepting your role, and it does not mean not doing your job or allowing yourself to be beat down on. You were guided to learn to defend yourself for a very specific reason. Reactions come from a place of exhaustion, and it is feeling done with a situation. Frustration is a core strategy of this group of gang stalkers. Frustration is one of the foundations on which gang stalking is built. So they provoke people specifically to lash out. This is a very specific tactic. This is why we have to learn non-reaction. But non-reaction, I'm going to say, is threefold. Number one, you do not want to be manipulated by your frustration, which is very strategic. Number two, exhaustion or being done with the situation comes from not accepting the role in the situation, is that you are here for a reason and a purpose. You are in service more than anything else. And number three, reactions come from a place of just that, reacting instead of preparing. Through acceptance of who you are and what your role is, actions will be from a place of instruction and not frustration. Instruction doesn't have to be from a voice. Instruction literally could just be you getting up and doing something. That's it. It is important to note the difference. Impulsive action is susceptible to manipulation. This lesson can be a whole course, because it will keep arising throughout your life in this role. Everything that you do, there is going to be frustration in it, because inherently the forces that you're pushing back against, these are forces, these are people who are frustrating to deal with. Nobody goes down willingly, so you must accept that there is going to be a fight in everything that you do. You are feeling attacks on your own house, your house being inclusive of your house being inclusive of your body, your mind, your spirit, your home, your children, your finances, whatever it is that makes you, this is where you are being attacked. So you are fielding attacks on your own house because this is where spirit resides, in your house. And to be clear, you work for the saint of death. At least I do. I don't know who everybody's guiding spirit is, but mine is. She is the saint of death, Santa Muerte. And so she puts a death to things. She puts a death to injustices. She puts a death in places where people have been crying for solutions. She comes in with the solutions. This is an inherently dangerous and difficult role. It is inherently difficult. Excuse me, and it takes a toll on your psyche, on your mind. It takes a toll. It takes a toll on your patience, and it takes a toll on your humanity. You have to continue to heal. You have to continue to be guided to not be frustrated, not, react, to pull back, to guard your peace, all of the above, because you are dealing with demonic energy. Part of the role, and that is just part of the role. It is dangerous and it is difficult and it's going to take a toll on you, and you need to keep transmuting that energy. So this role that you play involves gang stalking, being gang stalked, and even worse. You are doing your best because you have to do your best. You have no choice here. You have to do your best. You have to stay alert. You have to listen to guidance. You have to find solutions. So you are doing your best. And as long as you never quit and you follow guidance, you will be fine. You are guided in and out of situations, no matter what it looks like. They guide you in, they guide you out. So, and when I say spirit guides you in, spirit guides you out. When you've been on this journey long enough, you know spirit's hand in things. You know how spirit works. You know how spirit gets down. So you just know, you just get to a point naturally to relax through it. So when I was going through all the spell work, there was a lot of it. And then I got to the point with all the spell work, I had to just relax and just know spell work is spell work. Spell work is gonna come. And you just deal with it. They could have told me spell work is just gonna come a million times over, but you know what? As it keeps coming, you go through that cycle of frustration, and the frustration gets so bad and so high that you just now accept it as a part of your life, because it will just never end. This is a spiritual role. The spiritual world role comes with spiritual warfare, just like everything else. The frustration, the constant interaction with demonic energy, the constant interaction with provoking energy, the constant experiencing danger. This comes with the territory. You are going to constantly be in these situations, so you're going to get used to it, whether or not you really like to, whether or not you feel empowered to. You're just going to get used to it, that this is life. This is how life goes. So I want to explain strategy. The strategies that you need to be prepared for as these attacks come your way. So they are going to attack your altar because this is where they feel your power is, and that's only logical that they would attack the altar. Yes, the altar will be attacked. That means there are going to be people standing at your altar trying to blow up your reversal candles, trying to blow up your black candles that break curses, they don't seem to really care about the cleansing candles. They could care less about that. They really care about reversals because they're going to be doing a lot of work and sending it your way, and they need the work to work. So they are going to be doing a lot of spell work. They're not going to be happy with the death work. They're going to send a lot of work at the altar. They're also going to attack the offerings, which is what strengthens spirit in your life. So they're going to stand there and try to curse the offerings. They're going to be obsessed with your altar. So you must use your mind and protect your altar. 2, they are going to attack you in your sleep. These people know that you are strong. They're going to attack in your sleep. This is where they think that you are most weak, in your sleep, as you roam around astrally. So please be prepared for attacks in your sleep. If God puts blockages in your sleep or to your dreams, do not remove them, do not cleanse anything, and do not worry about if you remember dreams, why you don't remember dreams, why you're not dreaming, and leave everything as is. Trust God. Access, they are going to want to have access to your purchases because they're going to use that as information to see what you're planning. They are going to want access to you. They're going to follow you anywhere you're purchasing anything so that they can know what's going and how to move around with that. They are going to attack your meditations to affect your downloads. They don't want spirit to communicate with you or to prepare you for anything. They're going to be scrying into your thoughts literally 24 hours a day in shift work. When you meditate or pray, they're going to come as a team, and they're going to not just be sitting quietly. Sometimes they'll be sitting quietly, but they will be antagonizing and jeering at you. So you got to learn how to deal with that situation as well. They will try to handle you mentally or psychically. And this is post-exposure. They've already been exposed as handlers. God strategizes things like that. So it's the least of your worries at this time. God is not going to be using a voice to communicate with you. And in fact, I'm going to venture to say God might not communicate with you like a lot right now at all, to be honest. I don't know. That's just how I feel. Intuitively, I could be wrong. This is just my opinion. God doesn't need to. God will just change the landscape when God is ready. That's it. None of it. We are human beings here. That's one of the things that people do not want to accept. They are attempting to learn how you communicate with spirit so that they can duplicate that process, manipulate you, and have control over you, or at least have control over the reactions you have and give you poor advice. Number 7, they're going to attack your prayers. They don't want you to pray. They want your prayers to stop. Pray louder, pray longer, pray more frequently. Prayer brings you closer to spirit, so don't neglect to pray. People are also trying to sacrifice you to these entities, meaning to convert you to these entities at this time, because this is the curse that they're in. The curse that they're in is that they were supposed to sacrifice you to the entity and it hasn't worked. So they believe by getting that to work will get them out of the situation. Number 8, frustration. Frustration has always been their strategy, and they will try to continue to frustrate you. And this is why Spirit has guided you this entire time. Spirit has continued to guide us this entire time about frustration. So the frustration is just inherent to this job. You got to take it one day at a time, but you also have to be wise and close doors to frustrating behaviors. Set up protections, especially on the altar. The purpose of the candles is for reversals, breaking, and protection. Protect your candles because they will try to explode the candles. So keep multiple candles on hand. Be prepared to cleanse non-stop in all ways. Every cleansing that you know will come in handy. And be prepared to mitigate frustrations. What I mean by that is frustrations are going to come your way and you just need, this is where the message about non-reactionary solutions comes in. There are going to be things that you're going to be guided to do that are going to have frustrations in it. It's going to have delays in it, and it's going to have you constantly twisting and bending and praying to get things done. I have been there, done that many times before, and I can tell you that this is going to be on the path. So be ready to mitigate multiple frustrations. God is literally listening to all plans, thoughts, and knows these people, quite frankly. Knows these people before these people even came into their body. So things go God's way always. The purpose of this situation here is not just to put an end to injustice. I want it to be made clear. God could have put an end to this injustice a long time ago by burdening people so badly that they would have, committed suicide, or they would have been taken out by others and all this this is not the purpose of this. God has particular ways of doing things, and I don't know God's ultimate aim and what God is working at, that God does things this way. So we just have to walk through it, like I said, relax through it, but please be prepared mentally for what is coming your way. So I find that whenever God makes you prepared for something mentally, it's not just because it's coming, but it's because they want you to handle it the right way as it comes. So this is my message for tonight. Short, sweet, and spicy. 37 minutes. It's been a long time since I've done such a short message. Thank you and have a good night, and please take the message seriously. And one thing I have learned even with my messaging is that Spirit does not give messages for as a joke. They're very serious. They mean it, and they mean now. If they give a message and they say prepare, they mean now. So it's evening right now, so that means tomorrow. Get ready. TD Jakes has this thing that he says that I love. He's like, get ready, get ready, get ready, get ready, get ready. Yeah, it's like that. Get ready. I've been told to get ready myself multiple times. On multiple occasions, I have been told to get ready. So when they say get ready, they mean get ready. And if you don't, you regret it. Trust me. So get yourself ready in every way, shape, and form. Have a good night's sleep if they allow it. Pray, talk to God, and may Mother and Father forever be with us. Thank you and have yourself a good night.